The environment art team has been fleshing out the different procedural terrain elements of Delamar, with the surface being mostly covered with steep, spiky, mountainous shapes. When placing the Levski landing zone on the planet, we had a couple of challenges, such as what's the best workflow to create the large borehole in front of the landing zone and the roads leading up to it. What specific elements do we need to make the station blend smoothly with the terrain and not feel like it was an afterthought? The exterior of Levski had a few changes made to it, such as integrating garages on the lower levels so players can make an approach with ground vehicles. The team also made progress on the mining structures in and around the borehole to give them a more functional feeling and a polished pass. They also did some final touches to the moons to help give them more unique flavor from one another. The level design team finished their design pass on the surface outpost, and it now gets handed over to the art team. They'll continue to work on its modular system for a bit longer. They also started work on integrating Levski to the procedural version of Delamar. They created an upper lobby that will connect the Levski interior to the planetary surface via airlocks, as well as serve as a place for a future possible air rail to outline landing areas. They implemented garages on the surface so people can spawn or park their vehicles, as well as added new approaches to the Levski site itself with roads and parking zones with cool vistas. They also did some custom work, such as planning out the elevator network and workers area, as well as adding administration offices. The tech art team this month did some R&D work regarding foot-constrained locomotion, with the end goal to get the feet properly planted on the ground with each step, and to really give the character a true sense of weight at all speeds and all angles, etc. In its current state, we're getting good results, and we still have some refining to do for certain velocities. They also worked on some skinning tasks to widen the range of character customization, and they also continue to work with our weapons team, both on tools to help programmatically spot errors in the pipeline, as well as rigging for new and updated weapons. The system design team is progressing well with the actor status system. It now incorporates all the things that can happen to the player, from breathing, suffocating, stamina, G-forces, drinking, getting injured, etc. They added subsystems for suits getting punctured as the player goes through combat, and the ability to patch your damaged suit and recharging your oxygen tanks. The usable system is reaching its full production status, and we're now starting to mass produce them for both Squadron 42 and the PU. Once implemented in the levels, these will make the world feel so much more alive, as the AI will be able to interact with almost any item in the world. The system is incredibly flexible, from simple actions such as AI leaning on a wall, to more complex ones like opening up a service locker, accessing the power supply inside them, inspecting that item inside, removing a broken item, replacing it with a new one, restarting the power supply, etc. The system allows us to have either the player or AI perform those actions, or have both players and AI working on the same usable together. On the social side of things, we're finalizing the design for the Spectrum game integration, which will allow players to access core Spectrum functionalities inside the game, like party creation and management, chat, friends lists, orgs, etc. The goal is to keep the great majority of the stuff available in the Spectrum app, while the core functionality needed for minute-to-minute gameplay be available directly in the game. The Frankfurt QA team began testing the new Stanton system persistent universe level this month, with a focus on finding any major gameplay blockers. The entire process of connecting to this new PU level has changed, which led to additional tweaks and testing done to our in-house server launcher tool called Catapult, With Port Olisar now in the Stanton system level, we're currently able to test traveling between the different moons, as well as landing on them, getting out, etc. In the Subsumption editor, the new conversation system was recently added and was available for our initial round of testing. All issues encountered were entered in Jira and sent over to our Austin studio to be investigated. The QA team also worked together with our internal system designers to fix up the AI basic feature test level and add behaviors for all NPCs so their designated tests could be run. The feature testers kicked off whenever new code changes are submitted to the game dev stream. With the AI basic feature test level, we're able to catch any AI-related issues that could potentially be caused by a code submission. They also spent time to further expand QA's depth of testing with the particle editor. New VFX test cases were created, added to our editor checklist, and these tests will continue to be maintained as we gather additional feedback from other technical testers and the team. Our lighting team has been fully focused on supporting the upcoming 3.0 release of the moons Selen, Yela, and Daymar. Particular attention continues to be on the surface outposts and defining the level of visual quality we want to achieve for 3.0 and all subsequent surface outpost variations in the future. It's important for us to give a level of personality, interactivity, and quality to the lighting in the outpost, so players will want to seek out and explore these locations. We're staying in sync with the UK studio to keep the lighting up to date as assets and layouts come closer to their final state. We're also implementing the first stage of our new light group system, which gives us the ability to alter the lighting and mood of surface outposts based on various states like low power, emergency, or hazardous conditions. The AI team in Frankfurt grew by 1 member this month, so they spent some time getting them up to speed. For Ship AI, the team did some refactoring of the movement system to unify the movement pipeline between NPCs and ships. This enables the NPCs, while piloting ships, to truly control them, amongst other things. This will ultimately give the AI a finer level of control and a way to contextualize their actions. For NPCs, they did some general improvements to the AI pathfinding and navigation. AI were at times getting blocked on certain configurations of corners, and this work will resolve that. They also made some fixes for the mesh regeneration to correctly exclude areas that AI should not be able to get to. Regarding the mission system, they focused on 2 different chapters of Squadron 42 missions, expanding existing functionalities and adding new ones for the designers. Designers can now define and initialize through DataForge which default missions play when entering specific game modes. Through the Subsumption visualizer, they're now allowed to overwrite the starting mission for a specific level they're currently working on. This ultimately makes the setup and review of missions much more efficient for the entire team. Designers can now create what we call a platform. In simplified terms, you can think of it as a list of items that live within an object container with their own known world coordinates at runtime. A platform can be accessed by the mission logic and customized in numerous configurations. For example, an Idris would be a basic platform, and in the game you can find multiple Idris setups in different ways, occupied by pirates, another by UEE, etc. All those unique setups would all reference the same base platform of the Idris and have their own unique customization layers on top of the pirates, of the UEE, etc. The weapons team has been incredibly busy blocking out new FPS weapons. This past month, they blocked out 2 Vanduul weapons, 4 from Castec Arms, 3 from Gemini, 1 from Kahix. For ship weapons, they completed a first pass on the Knightsbridge Arms ballistic cannon, size 2 and 3, and this is the first ship weapon through our new pipeline to prep it for the modular upgradable system. This month, they're also assisting the UK team with props on their spare time. The engine team continued work on object container streaming to help with our huge seamless world, as well as SolEd, which is our internal tool to help easily build full solar systems. Star Citizen and Squadron 42 are developed with C++, a programming language known for high performance. But due to the language design, large projects can suffer from long compile times. If not careful, the time spent between translating program code into machine instructions. And even with careful code design, compile times for a large project like ours tend to always increase over time. So we recently spent some time doing house cleaning on existing code. For this, we had to touch all the game code files, nearly 2,000, and in the end, we improved the compile times by several minutes, which will have a positive impact company-wide. The engine team also spent time further improving the procedural planet tech. This clip of a seamless transition of the yellow moon ground surface out to space is showing off some of the improved terrain blending, improved blending of terrain and scattered objects, and improved transition dissolve blending. In the video, as the camera gets further away, the objects that were procedurally spawned on the surface are gradually blending out. There's still some work to do to get it to its fully polished state, but the progress is impressive. That wraps us up for Frankfurt. Thank you so much for all the support you give us on a daily basis. The team really appreciates it, and we'll see you in the verse.